I just read the 1969 novel The Godfather by Mario Puzo, and then I watched the 1972 movie The Godfather, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. In this video, I'll compare the two and see how they stack up against each other. This video will contain spoilers about the book and the movie, so here's your warning. The Godfather is a rags-to-riches story of a humble Sicilian family in New York who rose to prominence thanks to their respectable olive oil business and how they made their neighborhood a better place. Just kidding, it's about the Mafia, underworld, revenge, and murder. It explores the themes of honor and loyalty, especially loyalty to one's friends and family. More specifically, it's about the Godfather, Don Vito Corleone, played by Marlon Brando in the movie, and his family business, which involves racketeering and running one of the most powerful of New York's 5 prominent Sicilian mafia families. The calm, level-headed confidence of Don Corleone is awesome. But at the end of the day, he is a criminal who runs an organization that regularly takes part in ruthless murder and violence. So while you admire and respect him, you also don't at the same time. Don Corleone's youngest son, Michael, played by Al Pacino in the movie, encapsulates the Don's outlook on life in this passage from the book. "My father is a businessman trying to provide for his wife and children and those friends he might need someday in a time of trouble. He doesn't accept the rules of the society we live in because those rules would have condemned him to a life not suitable to a man like himself, a man of extraordinary force and character. What you have to understand is that he considers himself the equal of all those great men like presidents and prime ministers and Supreme Court justices and governors of the states. He refuses to live by rules set up by others, rules which condemn him to a defeated life." And my man Tom Hanks puts it perfectly in this scene from You've Got Mail.
"The Godfather is the I Ching. The Godfather is the sum of all wisdom."
I cannot get over how much I loved this book. I could not put it down, at least for the first 140 pages or so. Then the book goes off into this side plot with the character Johnny Fontane, you know, the famous singer who wanted the part in that big-time movie, which led to this scene. Johnny Fontane is in the book a lot, and in my opinion, that part of the book was the least interesting to me. And the movie wisely leaves a lot of that out because it really is not that integral to the main plot of the story, and to me it was just more distracting than anything else.
"I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse."
The movie, helmed, like I said, by director Francis Ford Coppola, is probably the best film adaptation of a book that I've ever seen. Mario Puzo and Coppola wrote the screenplay together, and they included so much of what was in the book, and nearly flawlessly. From the casting to the dialogue to the events that take place, it feels like the book come to life on screen. And that's what a good adaptation should be. I'm gonna be honest, I first watched this movie when I was in high school, and I didn't really like it. I thought it was long and slow and a little confusing at times. But now, after several years have passed and I've read the book, I can safely say that I love this movie. The direction and cinematography in this movie is masterful. There are so many great scenes, like the restaurant assassination scene. The way the tension builds in this scene is palpable. And the use of the nearby train noise to help heighten that tension is such an effective use of sound. The train acts kind of like a metaphor for Michael's heart. You know his heart is just pounding in this moment, and Al Pacino's acting in this scene is so good. My favorite scene, though, in this movie is the very first scene in the whole movie.
"America has made my fortune, and I raised my daughter in the American fashion."
The opening shot is this beautifully lit, tight shot of a man telling a story to someone. We don't know who this man is or who he's talking to.
"She went to the movies with him. She stayed out late."
We hear him tell a story of how his daughter was savagely beaten by a couple young men, all the time while the camera is slowly zooming out without ever cutting away. And this goes on for more than 2 minutes until the Godfather, Don Vito Corleone, is finally revealed. Brando, simply put, is magnificent. His screen presence is overpowering.
That I cannot do.
He exudes the confidence of the Don from the book in every single scene he's in. He was awarded the Oscar for Best Actor, which makes sense considering he gives one of the most memorable performances any actor has ever given.
I can't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
His best acting in this movie, in my opinion, is when he learns of his son Sonny's death.
He's dead.
I want all inquiries made.
The way he goes from anguish to talking business in the same breath is remarkable. And while Brando is the star of this movie, it's really Michael's story. And Al Pacino is fantastic in this movie.
Let's set the meeting.
The scene when he's sitting in the chair devising the plan to murder the police captain and Sollozzo is masterfully done. With his broken jaw and confident demeanor, Michael so clearly exudes the same aura as his father that as a viewer you immediately understand that you're looking at the future Don of the Corleone family. However, I will say that the Michael in the movie is not quite as likable a character as the Michael in the book, and I'll give an example. So there's a scene in the movie where Michael is informing Tom Hagen, played excellently by Robert Duvall, that he is no longer consigliere. And in the movie, you know, Hagen protests and Michael just coldly says, "You're out, Tom," and then, you know, Hagen walks out. In the book, however, after Michael says, "You're out," Hagen says to him, you know, "You're a lot like your father, but there's one thing that you didn't learn from him, and that's how to say no to somebody." And Michael looks at him and says, "You know, you're right, and I'll remember that." And that's Michael acknowledging that he made a mistake and he will learn from it, and that he's not as cold of a person as the Michael in the movie. And the Michael in the movie just comes across as a little more uncaring.
What are you gonna do? Nice college boy, huh?
Sonny is possibly my favorite supporting character in the movie.
You just do what I tell you to do!
James Caan's performance is so good, so animated, so lively, that Sonny honestly feels like the realest character in the whole movie.
Son of a bitch!
If this movie has any flaws, I guess it would just be a couple technical things. Like the fact that Sonny completely misses Carlo's face in this scene. And honestly, some of the dialogue is difficult to understand, especially the Dons, because of the character choice that Brando made. You know, it doesn't bother me now, but I can understand how a first-time viewer of the movie might hate it. And, you know, watching this movie with subtitles on might not be the worst idea. Also in the book, when Michael orders the assassinations of the Dons of all the families, he also gets his revenge on Fabrizio, who is a bodyguard that planted the bomb that killed Apollonia, Michael's wife in Sicily. And that was just, you know, Michael getting his revenge on Fabrizio was very satisfying and fulfilling. And I read that they cut that scene out of the movie for some reason, and I wish that they had left that in. As much as I freaking love this movie, I can't understate how much I love the book as well. It's the most I've enjoyed reading a book since I read The Pillars of the Earth. And if you've seen my review of that book, you know how much I love that book. So, you know, if you are a fan of The Godfather but have never read the book, trust me, do yourself a favor and read the book. You will not be disappointed. I love The Godfather, the book, and the movie equally. You know, this is why I'm so glad I started this YouTube channel, because if it wasn't for this channel, I probably never would have read The Godfather or revisited the movie, and I'm so, so glad that I did. All right, it's that time. I want to hear from you. Please comment below. Have you read The Godfather, the book? Did you like it as much as I do? Do you agree with my assessment of the book and the movie? Please comment below, like I said, and if you liked this video, please do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, and like this video, and make sure you click that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.